We all have our favorite camping spots, either a campground or a wilderness site in the forest or desert. Many of us can only get away to our favorite campsite once, or if we are fortunate, twice a year. Many great memories are the result of our camping vacation trips. But over time, we also want to discover and camp at new sites. How do we discover these new locations? I researched the internet months in advance to locate possible new sites for camping. Scouting a new site before camping at it is important. Recently, I researched wintertime boondock camping in western Arizona in the Quartzsite area. I found some possibilities in the Kofa Wildlife Refuge, south of Quartzsite, and on Plumosa Road, which is north of Quartzsite, Arizona. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it for you. Give it a like at the end of the video, and also subscribe to my channel for more great content. So, as I say in my other videos on Sam's Camping Videos, let's get to it. I'm on my way to Kofa View now, which is the first of the sites I'll be visiting of the three in the Quartzsite, Arizona area. So let's get going. I've been on the road on Highway 95, which is south of Quartzsite, Arizona, for a few minutes now, and I've been seeing a few areas to where you can go RV camping around here. This is one of the areas where people, when they come into Quartzsite for the winter from other places in the country, go to gem shows, festivals, other big confabs, and they're starting to move into the area now, which kind of surprised me actually. I saw them closer to I-10, but the further I get away, the more that I'm seeing areas which are vacant right now. But these will fill up quite quickly though as the months go by. It's mid-November right now, but by January, yeah, these places on both sides of the road here, they're going to be full of RVs and campers. Mainly, well, perhaps half winter visitors, others who are here coming and going for the various things which are going on in Quartzsite in the middle of the winter time. As you can see, this isn't what you would call like a scenic route. We are out in the middle of the Arizona desert in western Arizona. We're not too far away from California actually, from this spot that I'm driving on right now. Kofa View, from my research, I think it's a natural wildlife refuge actually. And there's a lot of bird watching and other things that you can do while you're camping out in this dispersed desert areas. I've arrived on the turnoff from Highway 95 onto a road called MST&T. That's what my Google Maps navigator calls it. Still about 4 miles away from Kofa View, but I wanted to give you a little taste of a ride on this kind of crushed granite bumpy road here. Off in the distance there are some very interesting views of the mountain ranges there. The jagged mountaintops over there. Right over there somewhere. Well, my finger can't get into the view there. It's kind of a hazy morning here too. I'm looking to see if on this road to Kofa View, if there's any camping areas that look like you can go camping in. They look like it. They don't have fire rings though. But I do see some camping rigs on the way up here, and you may be able to see them in the camera now. They're off to the left. Yeah, there are several camping areas to the left and the right of me, actually. But these are all before you get to Kofa View. Now I'm seeing like fire rings now. And there's some sand in the road here, so I gotta be careful as I drive over that. And you would too if you had a big rig. Yeah, these camping rigs, they are way off the road here. So I guess you can, like, to the left, there must be paths that go back there. I'm going to try to look for a road for you here to see if there are any roads you can follow to go back into these areas. I'm not really seeing any right now. At least not from the road I'm driving on right now. Yeah, there are large camping areas, I mean, right next to the road here. And on the right are the ones I see campfire rings for. I wanted to come out here next month in December 2021. It's a different place to go to. So for those of you who go cross country and you like to boondock on your way going through Arizona around Quartzsite, and you don't want to be around a lot of crowds, well, this is the place to go to actually, even before Kofa View. You can get in, you can like rest up for the night, maybe a couple nights, and then you can get back up on the road again the next day. Arrived at the Kofa Wildlife Refuge, known colloquially by RVers and campers as Kofa View. So let's take a further trip down this road into Kofa View proper. We're now in the Kofa View or Kofa Wildlife Refuge area now. This is the first one I found off to the right here, but you're going to have to run over this berm here. And that's way too close to the road here. I mean, the campfire ring is like maybe 10 feet away from the road. There are like flat areas to the left and right, but there really doesn't seem to be a way to get to them directly off the road here. And to the right of me, there's one campfire ring here, but once again, there's a sign saying, let's just back up into it and see just what the heck does that mean, because there is a little path you can turn into the right. So I'm going to back up and go into it. I can't quite see it from here, that sign, so I don't understand why they would have that there. So I'm gonna like drive right up to it there and show you what this sign says. It says no vehicles beyond this point. Okay, so that means, yeah, you can like park your rig in this flat area just as long as you don't like do it beyond that sign. That makes perfect sense. I think I remember reading about that. Okay, let's get back on the dirt road here and go further into Kofa View. I've been driving along this road in the Kofa Wildlife Refuge for quite a while, and I wasn't finding many spots to really camp which were far off the road. Well, now I know why. I stopped off for about 5 minutes to look at my hard copy compendium.com research on this site, and since I'm in the wildlife refuge, they've got their own rules, which is you can't really camp no further than 100 feet off the side of this road here. So that's why everything is close by. So if you want some distance from the road, you're going to have to camp in one of the spots I mentioned earlier before we go past that sign. So just keep that in mind. I've concluded the scout of the Kofa Wildlife Refuge. That's a place to go boondocking to. And some of the spots before you actually cross into the boundaries of the wildlife refuge, they are available. They're large. They have some campfire rings, but they're not really my choices to go camping next month here in the month of December of 2021. So now I'm going to proceed to our next location, the Scout and Review, and that's Palm Canyon Road. It's further south of here. And as you can see, once again, it's not a very scenic route to be driving on. But it does get you to your destinations for wintertime boondocking in western Arizona around the Quartzsite area, which offers a lot of different activities during the wintertime. And it's a popular site nationwide, and I believe also from Canada too, for people wanting to escape the cold and snow of back east and up north. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention the absolute stark and beautiful landscape that's off to the left of me, which you can't see in the camera, but it's these mountain formations with very sharp edges to them. We're about ready to turn left on the Palm Canyon Road.
Take the next left onto Palm Canyon Road.
And here it says Kofa National Wildlife Refuge, Palm Canyon. So the refuge we visited earlier is very large, so it reached all the way down here.
Continue on Palm Canyon Road for 6 miles.
So immediately upon getting off of Highway 95 and onto Palm Canyon Road, which is also in the area of the Kofa Wildlife Refuge, see a lot of flat areas, but they're not actually camping areas. And I hope you can see now in the camera the awesome mountains which I was describing earlier, known to the camping community colloquially as Palm Canyon. This should offer some promising camping areas and locations for me, and to you as well. According to my research on compendium.com, many reviewers praise this area that we're driving into now for its camping and for its hiking and other recreational activities that you can do in a desert environment. Okay, I've reached the first of the camping areas off this road here. I'm just going to pull into it on the left. And this is the northern side of the road. And for this desert area, you do want to camp on the northern side of the road because of the prevailing winds in the wintertime. Dictate that. You don't want a bunch of dust from people driving by you, blowing into your campsite and into your RV with the windows open. So there's a nice campfire ring off to my left here out my truck window. It's a nice big area. It is close to the road though, so just keep that in mind.
Continue on Palm Canyon Road for 1 mile.
Okay, back on the road now on Palm Canyon Road, which also either skirts or goes back into the Kofa Wildlife Refuge. But I don't see, as of right now, any limitations to where you can go camping. I haven't seen any signs, but I'm not really sure if I'm in the Kofa Wildlife Refuge or not. I don't think I am though. And coming across some flat areas now to the right as well. I don't see any campfire rings at them. See, I would need a campfire ring already there for me because I don't have like a portable one. But plenty of campers have portable ones where you can go to places like this which don't have already built fire rings to them. Just have to be very sure about how you pull into these areas because there's been like berms built up from plowing through this road to smooth it out, or grading it is what it's called. There are some openings into it where you can park your rig and go camping into. There's a lot of flat areas that you can drive into, but there's no campfire ring. So if you have a portable ring like I mentioned earlier, you can still camp here. Another thing is there's very large sites around here too. So if you got a group that you're trying to organize to come out here, hey, you got plenty of room to park your RV buses and travel trailers and fifth wheels. And for the unfortunate ones, to set up your tents in. Probably for the kiddies. Yeah, a lot of the wide open areas, they're also actually inaccessible because the berms are so high. There's no way you can go camping in them. And that's probably why I don't really see any evidence of any camping activity in several of these locations along both sides of the road here on Palm Canyon Road. I'm approaching a couple of camping rigs now to my right up here, so I'll be curious to see how the heck they got into this spot, because I don't see really good ways of doing it. Yeah, you can do it, you gotta be very careful. And there's one, there's an open path into one to get back into that area there, so they made it. See, that's a nice wide open area right there for an entire group of campers if you want to organize one. I'm approaching another site that's occupied by a travel trailer and a truck up here. And yeah, they have a way to get into there, so there's a campfire ring there too. It's just on the wrong side of the road if you're trying to avoid dust blowing on you. Okay, I'm approaching the entrance into Kofa again, I believe, so we're just going to drive right by it, and that's when perhaps the rules are going to be changing again to where you have to like camp within 100 feet of both sides of the road. So yeah, going back into Kofa Wildlife Refuge again. There we go, and I'm seeing people like camping over to my left back here. They're further than 100 foot off the road, that's for sure. Another group are too. Refuge host to my right. We got someone here you can go to. If you need information or friendly discussion, or you need help with something. I wanted to show you this stark landscape in front of me. Let me get back on the road and drive a little bit closer to it so you can see it better in the camera there. But yeah, this is a great view to have when you're camping alongside this road somewhere. Seeing some more campers off to my left, which is the north side of the road here. Can get off into them. These would be spots on the left side that you would want to go camping because of prevailing winds. People driving by this road, you kick up a lot of dust. I've been doing it the whole way this morning. So you don't want that dust blowing on you. Strolling along the Palm Canyon Road here because I wanted to show you an absolutely stunning sight. I pulled off to the side of the road to eat my lunch, and I was looking at it the whole time I was eating it. So here it is. And there it is. Look at that sight. It is magnificent. It's a much bigger mountain formation than I'm used to when I go camping during the wintertime in the desert at Saddle Mountain, BLM land, south of Tonopah, Arizona. Here, it looks like this road may actually dead end up to the base of it up there. I thought that was just a wash, but maybe I'm wrong. So I'm going to take a little ride up there and find out. Back on the road on Palm Canyon Road in the Kofa Wildlife Refuge. In our exploration of boondocking winter campsites in the general area of Quartzsite, Arizona. I am finding some more campsites, but they are close to the road, and that's because we are in the Kofa Wildlife Refuge, and they don't permit you to camp any further than 100 feet from this road. Okay, this road does go up right to the base of this gorgeous rock formation or mountain up here. So I'm going to go all the way up there. Palm Canyon Road actually dead ends into this absolutely stark but gorgeous spot here in the desert of the Kofa Wildlife Refuge. Let me give you a little tour of what I see in front of me. This is one of the great wonders of Kofa. A box canyon known as Palm Canyon has leaf palm trees growing in it. You can take a trail which will take you back to this great natural wonder of Kofa. So that was one gorgeous scan of the landscape here at the dead end of the Palm Canyon Road in the Kofa Wildlife Refuge. I'm now going to proceed to a promising campsite that I saw on the way up here. It's just a couple minutes away, so I'm going to take us all down there right now. So I've arrived back at this little campsite I told you about at the end of Palm Canyon Road. So let me just reorient you around to the direction that you would be approaching it from. And this looks kind of promising for me as well next month, if it's here. So let's take a look at it. So we'll be coming up this road here, and right to the right is this little campsite. You see my truck parked there. It looks big enough for my rig. It has a moderately large campfire ring at it too. So let me scan you around at this site here. All the cholla cactuses in the bushes here. The only negative about this site, and it's a big one, folks, and that is lots of people are going to be driving up this road to go and explore that in front of us here. So this was actually, I think, the most promising site on the Palm Canyon Road if you want to have views like that every morning, because the sun would probably rise right over there somewhere. And the sun sets right behind me, so they could really light up this formation here. Perhaps in the colors of pink and so, which I've heard about. I've never seen it, but I would like to. So that's my review of this particular site here. It is close to the road because of Wildlife Refuge rules, but it's doable, and if it's occupied, you just keep going up further, depending on the length of your rig. I think the size of my rig would probably be the maximum that you would feel comfortable with and turning around and coming back down the road again. So next up is Plumosa Road. Now that's in a particularly different area from what we've been exploring here so far, and that is, it's on, well, it's off of Highway 95, but it's north of I-10, so I have to make a long drive back up to there. It'll be the last area that we will explore. I'm now on Highway 95, and I'm north of Interstate 10. I just drove through town Quartzsite there, and I saw where they have those shows and stuff they have in the wintertime there. Of course, all the areas are empty now. They haven't like set up shop yet, but I think they'll be doing that in a couple months though. I'm soon going to be approaching Plumosa Road. I'll be turning right onto it. All right, I'm getting ready to turn into Plumosa Road here now. So I did read that it is a paved road, so that should be pretty good. We have a change of pace
Take the
for me
next right
today.
onto Plumosa Road, then you will arrive at your destination.
In case you didn't hear me, it is a paved road, so that'll be a change of pace for today's travels. Here we are, Plumosa Road, 14-day camping limit. Yeah, this is at the western end of this road. I read about this, where they have like dispersed campsites toward the road here. I am seeing quite a few campers. A lot of vans out here, actually camping vans, Class B vans. On this western end of Plumosa Road, there are quite a few campers out here already, and that sort of surprised me. I thought it would have been too early in the season for that, but it is a Friday. A lot of these may be leaving over the weekend, maybe on Sunday, going back home or going to their next destinations. But there are camping areas far off the road, but you're going to have some company, I think, though. At least I'll be having some company if I was to be camping along Plumosa Road. There are quite a few areas, and I mean large areas, where you can go camping. That's a good thing. Just not quite seeing once again how they get to them. All I see are berms in a way, but it must be paths every now and then where you can get into them here. I'm just not seeing them. Okay, here's one right here that turns off to the right. So yeah, you got plenty of spots back in there. Some of this is low-lying areas where people look like they're camping, which I wouldn't be doing, because they would have like running water going through them if we have a rainstorm up here. Okay, I'm now in a day use area that I saw with the no tent sign, which means no camping. So I'm not quite sure what that means here. So, yeah, I don't see any campers in what I just drove into. But for my research, there are other areas to go camping further down the road here. So we'll wait and see and find out. The big advantage, though, that this Plumosa Road has over those two areas that we visited is that the road is paved, so there isn't going to be any dust flying across your campsite, no matter on which side of the road that you're camping on. So that's a pretty big one, you know, if you want to come out here. I do want to let you know that yeah, there's plenty of areas to camp out here, and if you crave the comfort of being around other people and other campers, then this will probably fit the bill for you. But for those of you who want seclusion, you may have to go somewhere else. So I'm going to keep driving on Plumosa Road until I have to get to the point where I have to turn back around and see if there's any secluded sites that you and I could go to enjoy a wintertime boondocking experience. I have found a couple of spots here on the road which are not conducive to a whole bunch of campers and RVs congregating in, which are secluded, but you are still close to the road. But you are still out in the desert too, so you gotta take the good with the bad, I guess. I'm seeing other campers now in these larger areas which are more conducive to a bunch of RVs camped around each other. You can see quite a few rigs are out here. Plumosa Road is by far the one site that we visited today which has a lot more campers at it during the prime time of camping during the week, Friday through Sunday. Well, I'm going as far as I'm going to go on Plumosa Road. So up next will be my summation of this video and a review of all three sites and my recommended ranking list, which will really be a personal list. You may rank them differently based on the kind of experiences that you want to enjoy in the Quartzsite Arizona area for boondocking during the wintertime. Here are my findings on our scout of the Quartzsite Arizona area in western Arizona for wintertime boondocking. So the first area that we visited was what's colloquially known as Kofa View on compendium.com, but it's also within the Kofa Wildlife Refuge. When you go on to the MST&T road to approach Kofa View, you're in BLM land, and on both sides there's plenty of camping areas that you can camp in. And at this time of the week, which is a Friday, there were, for the most part, they were open. They weren't being occupied. So that's a big plus for someone like me who will be coming up here on a Wednesday. But the further that you go along into the road and you go into the actual refuge itself of Kofa, then you have to live under their restrictions, which is you can't camp no further than 100 feet away from the road. So that does restrict bigger rigs because of that. But the BLM land before I reached the refuge, well, that's entirely doable. The next stop was Palm Canyon Road. And on that road, it also has a BLM area that you travel through before you hit, once again, the Kofa National Wildlife Refuge. There's plenty of spots that I saw along Palm Canyon Road. Many of them were like enticing, and once again, they weren't being occupied. So that was very intriguing to me as a place to go wintertime camping next month. But once again, the further you go down Palm Canyon Road, you enter into the Kofa Wildlife Refuge area and its 100-foot restrictions. The third and final site that we visited was Plumosa Road. I had high hopes for this area. It was a paved road, so that means there's no dust. It does have tons of camping areas. If your definition of tons of camping areas is you can park a whole bunch of rigs next to each other. And for those who like to be around other people and other campers and meet and greet and all that business, then yeah, that'd be something that you would probably be interested in. But if you want seclusion in your camping experience, most of the areas on Plumosa Road wouldn't be for you. So here are my rankings. Coming in at number 3 would be Plumosa Road. It actually disappointed me personally. Now, this is only my own personal rankings. You would probably rank them differently if you wanted to be around other people. But I like to be secluded when I'm camping. I don't mind some rigs around me, as long as they're like way far away from me. But there just isn't enough secluded spots on Plumosa Road to where I would even entertain it as a place to go camping for myself. Number 2 would be the first site we visited, which was Kofa View. There are, on the BLM land portion before you approach Kofa, spots, where you can go camping in. And I would entertain those spots if I couldn't find any in my number 1 pick on this list. You go into Kofa View and then you're really you just can't really camp if you have a large rig. That's my opinion. You just can't do it. You're like right on the road and you have to be on the proper side of the road so that the dust doesn't blow on you whenever a car or truck goes by. And now, my number 1 pick. Once again, this is just my personal rankings. You would have perhaps a different camping experience that you want to enjoy. It's Palm Canyon Road. And mainly because on the approach to the Kofa Wildlife Refuge region, you've got plenty of spots to go camping at, actually. I saw plenty of them. And I don't think if I was to come up here on a Wednesday, I could find one that I would really like. And it has, at the end of the road, a turnaround area in case you had to turn around a rig. I could get my rig to be turned around at the end of Palm Canyon Road. The turnaround is big enough. As long as there's no bunches of cars and trucks parked there, I could do it. And I could probably even do it then if I did some fancy backing up and turning and backing up and turning. So that would be my number 1 spot. And most likely, I will be going next month, December 2021, to the Palm Canyon Road dispersed camping sites south of Quartzsite, Arizona. Be safe. Have fun. Goodbye.